Up until now, consumers have been in the dark about their energy consumption, and even energy providers have really been in the dark about how their consumers consume their product. What Tendril's software platform allows both consumers of energy and suppliers of energy to do is gain unprecedented insight and control into the supply and consumption of energy. Energy suppliers benefit by being able to better match supply and demand, leading to more efficiency in the grid, and consumers benefit by getting real-time insight and control that allows them to spend less on their energy and emit less CO2 in the environment. Our studies show that when consumers are given real-time access to information about their energy consumption, they can reduce that consumption by 10 to 15%, which can be really meaningful in the overall scope of energy management. So starting a technology company is never easy. You really need three core ingredients to get a company off the ground. You need a highly educated workforce, you need a marketplace to sell your product, and you need access to venture capital to help launch the product. The great thing about the US is it has a great education system, which means there's an abundance of highly trained and highly skilled workers. It's a significantly sized market, so it allows us to sell our products locally to start with. And then, importantly, it has a very mature venture capital industry, which allows us to gain the seed capital we need in order to get the company off the ground. That said, whilst the US is a great place to start a company, the smart grid and the energy revolution that it encapsulates is a global problem. And so we've moved quickly as a company to start exporting our technology, products and services to other markets, including Europe and South America. The kind of change that the energy industry is going through is every bit as big as what we've seen from the telecoms industry in the last 20 years. And if you look at the lessons that we can learn from the telecoms industry and apply them to the energy industry, we can see that the number one lesson is we should be humble about our ability to predict what the killer application is going to be here. Even Google didn't really predict Google. And so we shouldn't imagine that we're going to be able to predict all of the applications in the energy industry. We've been very active with the National Institute of Standards and Technology, driving the process of standards. We believe it's not sufficient just to follow the standards process, but it's important to drive and define these standards that are going to define the smart grid. So I've testified to the US Senate related to standards in the smart grid, to consumer choice in the smart grid, and the creation of a marketplace by driving open standards into the smart grid, all of which we think are important to make the smart grid a success. The commitment to open standards in the smart grid marketplace not only drives our innovation, but allows all sorts of other customers to enter this marketplace and deliver products and services of their own. The energy revolution is going to be every bit as big as the telecom revolution. And if we look at the telecom revolution, it's driven huge change in society, mostly for benefit. It's freed up the flow of information. It's created jobs and wealth and driven a whole set of businesses that were hitherto unimagined. We see the same thing for the energy industry. So it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you sit, becoming more energy efficient as a society is an important driver. It drives jobs. It drives better environmental policy, it drives energy independence, and those things together mean for a better society.